Power of Being Strategically Authentic by Alex Farrell, Alex Thro, Syed Zabula, Sadat, Ben Yanak, Madi Biermann, and Parker Freeman. I'll begin by talking about the different research methods used by our group and our data mining efforts to identify nonprofits that align with Strategically Authentic's mission. We utilize multiple different resources in our research, the first being the nonprofit database GuideStar. This database, which compiles over 1.8 million IRS recognized nonprofits, proved to be an invaluable tool in our research. GuideStar's filterable search engine allowed us to narrow down our search by different categories, both locational and organizational, which helped us to find suitable nonprofits that align with Strategically Authentic's values. GuideStar allowed us to filter by state and city, by their seal of transparency, which indicates their transparency to potential donors, their subject area and population served, and by their level of diversity. After selecting the suitable nonprofits from our filtered search, GuideStar provided us with essential information such as the nonprofit's mission statement, contact information, location, and even its financial information from the last year. While some of this information was not incredibly informative, we were able to find more corroborating information directly from the nonprofit's website. The second resource that our group used is the database melissa.com. Melissa.com is a nonprofit database that allowed us to search for nonprofits using different search filters, much like GuideStar. What made this database an essential tool in our research was its ability to narrow down searches by zip code, which was helpful in finding nonprofits in various different regions. As we found nonprofit organizations on GuideStar and Melissa.com, it was important to verify their legitimacy. For this purpose, we utilized the IRS tax-exempt organization search. This database allowed us to verify an organization's eligibility to receive tax-deductible charitable contributions, which indicates that they are a legitimate charity.
For the first nonprofit today, I'm going to be talking about Women Rising. Women Rising was founded in Jersey City, New Jersey in 1905. Their mission is to assist women and families to achieve self-sufficiency and live safe, productive, and fulfilling lives through social services, economic development, and advocacy service. They have average of serving around 11,480 individuals. They advise over 1,180 women on legal options. They provide 170 families with a safe place to live, and they have individuals around 150 placed in jobs, and they also provide counseling services to over 1,500 women and families. You can also volunteer and donate to help their cause. The next non-for-profit is Crossroads for Women. Crossroads for Women is in Albuquerque, New Mexico, founded in 1997. Their mission is to empower women emerging from incarceration to achieve safe, healthy, and fulfilling lives in the community for themselves and their children. They provide permanent or transition supportive housing, therapy, and peer-on-peer services. They also combat the cynical nature of the justice system. They value rehabilitation. You can also volunteer, donate, and participate in supply drives.
Thank you for giving me a chance. My name is Sabiullah, and I research about the following nonprofit organization. Maggie Women's Research Institute and Foundation is one of the largest nonprofit organization, and which is like dedicated for the woman's health and reproductive biology. So the organization was founded in 1992, and which is located in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. The organization also advocates for policies that improve women's health, such as extended access to healthcare, increased funding for women's health research, and also like the Maggie organization is recognized as a leader in the women's health research and has received numerous awards in that field. So which is the link, please? play that. Thank you.
We at McGee Women's Research Institute believe that women's research should be first and foremost instead of an afterthought.
Each group of professionals wakes up every day with different challenges, but a common goal, and that is to improve women's lives and the various conditions that they suffer from.
We have a new therapy that I'm hoping is just a couple of years away from the clinic, which will actually block the metastasis of ovarian cancer and maybe even other cancer types too, as we've started to study its role in breast cancer and lung cancer and colon cancer.
With amniocentesis or chorionic villus sampling, these invasive tests, the risk can be quite significant. So I felt that any risk because of a medical procedure, a diagnostic procedure, was unacceptable. That was really what motivated me to explore alternatives. In this case, it became a blood test that is replacing, has the potential to replace that invasive test.
We are in the process of providing new reproductive options for patients who used to have no options. An example of that is young kids who are receiving chemotherapy or radiation treatments for cancer. Today, we can provide options to preserve the fertility of both young boys and young girls so that after they survive their cancer, they can still realize the dream of having their own family.
My dream for any young woman is that they can walk into a pharmacy and they can buy a product that can protect them from sexually transmitted infections, that can guard their fertility. And my dream is also that a young woman in Zimbabwe or South Africa can also make that journey and select those products.
There's very few people who are fortunate enough to work in a place that can really change the course of health and wellness for humankind. I feel we're one of those.
Thank you for playing that. So another organization is In Her Shoes Foundation. In Her Shoes Foundation began In Her Shoes Foundation as a girls club, which is established in 2008, and in Chicagoland area registered as a nonprofit, and that organization is in 2011, and the club was formalized and it became a nonprofit organization today through the professional development program, Giving Back Initiative, flagship program, Ready Set Girls program, and all that programs. So it has over like 60 committee, volunteer, and executive team committee chairs working closely to deliver the foundation's program in the local community. And the foundation support and empower the women and girls through the education, networking, and mentorship program. In terms of flower, and the organization has adopted the sunflower as a symbol of which is associated with the positive attributes such as happiness, loyalty, and longevity, which means in the context of Her Shoes Foundation, the sunflower represent the strength, preserves, and also optimism that women can embody when faced with challenges. And the foundation offer initiative including mentorships program and leadership academy and annual empowerment day event. Additionally, the foundation has partnered with other organizations and corporations to further its mission and empowering women and girls. Thank you.
Parker, would you mind going full screen for a second? Perfect, thank you. All right, the next nonprofit is Dirt Coffee, which stands for Divergent Inclusive Representation Transforms. It's not your ordinary coffee bar. It's a Colorado-based coffee bar that empowers neurodivergent individuals within the Littleton community by training and employing them. Dirt, also known as Roots Colorado Incorporated, is committed to combating the employment disparity for individuals with autism, Down syndrome, Tourette's, cerebral palsy, dyslexia, and ADHD. People with disabilities are vastly underrepresented in the workforce, as only 31.4% of disabled adults are employed, compared to 72.5% of adults with no disability. Through their coffee bar, DIRT provides a space where these individuals can thrive and contribute to their community in a meaningful way. Partners for a Hungry-Free Oregon is an incredible organization dedicated to combating hunger in Oregon. Their vision is an Oregon where everyone is healthy and thriving, with access to affordable, nourishing, and culturally appropriate food. Partners for a Hunger-Free Oregon is dedicated to lowering the Black hunger rate, as it is 11.2% in Oregon compared to only 4% in the white population. They understand that hunger is a complex issue to solve, so they work closely with community partners, government agencies, and other stakeholders to develop and implement programs that address the root causes of hunger. They understand that hunger is not just a problem of scarcity, but also of access and affordability. In combating this, they raise awareness about hunger, connect people to vital nutrition resources, and advocate for change at a political level.
Why Not Prosper, Inc. is a nonprofit founded by a formerly incarcerated woman. The organization is a strong advocate for women, providing a continuum of resources to aid in the rehabilitation and reentry of formerly incarcerated women into society. To do this, they provide employment information, housing, healthcare, and much more to those exiting the criminal justice system. All of these resources help those facing the challenges of reentry to their communities. And this helps to show that Why Not Prosper's dedication to rehabilitation and that they value the impact recently released individuals can make on their communities. Old Future is an organization that helps drive policy change, especially as it pertains to women and challenges that they face. They're located in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and they've been operating for the last 20 years. Like I said, they aid in the passing of legislation benefiting women in situations of motherhood, abortions, and other common injustices faced by women. The most recent example is they passed SB 10 in New Mexico, which allows trained New Mexico doctors to perform abortions on not just the citizens of New Mexico, but also those leaving their own state to receive abortions. All of these facts make Bold Futures leaders for considerable change within their communities. The Wisconsin LGBTQ Chamber of Commerce is in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. They're an affiliate of the National LGBTQ Chamber of Commerce. They're focused on building a strong pro-fairness business community. They do that by providing education and services that help build knowledge and leadership in individuals, which helps them to mentor others and progress their communities. They advocate for the beginning and development of LGBTQ and allied-owned businesses, and their strongest value is equality for all, but more so they just want a completely equal business field.
All right, and next we have the Zonta Foundation for Women in Chicago, Illinois. This nonprofit organization strives to advance the status of women through service and advocacy. Their vision, they envision a world in which women's rights are recognized as human rights and every woman is able to achieve her full potential. They hope that all women have access to resources and are represented fairly, just like men are. They also hope that no woman lives in fear of violence. They provide empowerment through education and training programs. They organize these campaigns, events, and they offer scholarship opportunities for women around the globe. And they were founded in 1923 and located in 35 different countries. I know it says different there, but it's go with it. And then, next we have the Red Tent Women's Initiative in St. Petersburg, Florida. This initiative was started in 2012 at the Pinellas County Jail by Barbara Road to aid incarcerated women and at-risk women. She did a lot for it at the beginning and continues to this day. They offer 8-week workshops to promote an environment of personal growth. Their main focus is on these women who are like in and going to be released soon or are not in for two like major crimes that will be re-entering society. And they're focusing on making sure that they stay in society and rebuild their lives and maintain themselves in the right path. They hope that there's a jail or that there's a red tent class in every prison and jail throughout the world. And next we have the Women's Foundation of the South. They're dedicated to the prosperity of women in the southern USA. They help to provide resources for women of color to overcome unique challenges that may face them that is not faced by everyone else. It is their mission to provide strategies, research, and resources that support the critical agency and influence of women's foundations and gender justice funders in the movement for equality, justice, and power for all. They were created to shift the focus in philanthropy to focus on women and girls of color specifically, to value them as inherent leaders and problem solvers who deserve to be trusted. They invest in education and leadership programs for members of minority groups.
And my first organization was Community Women Against Hardship St. Louis. They are a non-for-profit, volunteer-based organization that is dedicated to providing programs to low-income families with poverty to become more self-sufficient. The non-for-profit strives to become a respected national model for helping families become more self-sufficient and move out of poverty. They provide basic needs to women and children and services such as donated clothing, food, and household items. In addition, they offer various educational and developmental programs and workshops to parents and children in the St. Louis area. My second organization was the Women's Foundation of Greater St. Louis. They are a change agent for the St. Louis region, and it was founded by a group of St. Louis women with an abundance of energy and passionate commitment to improving the lives of women in the St. Louis region. It describes itself as a catalyst for workplace, individual, and policy change that advances women's economic success. They do this by workplace change, public policy change, and individual change. Workplace change, they focus their efforts to educate and incentivize employers to improve their policies and practices for female employees. Public policy change, they mobilize community members to advocate for local and statewide policies that expand access to jobs and fair wages and support working families. And on the individual level, through strategic grant making and non-for-profit partnerships, they support individual women in need of assistance as they navigate their economic journeys. It has been steadily increasing its focus on economic improvement and has led to the prioritization of grant making. And their overall goal is to create a fair and equitable community in which all women can achieve their economic goals. And they have continued to develop in new and exciting ways by incorporating the pursuit of long-term transformative change as they actively engage citizens from a diverse community. Our recommendations for the client, we have 3 recommendations that 1, provide different forms of communication, and 2, allows the client to examine risk and reward for each. Our first recommendation is conference calling. The client can begin to set up phone calls or video conferencing meetings to learn more about the individuals within the organization and how to tailor the client's area of expertise to the selected organization's needs. This will help establish a relationship, potentially providing new business opportunities, and allows the client to get a better understanding of each organization and how their needs need to be addressed. The client can also take the time to travel and personally connect with organizations and their employees or volunteers, which would provide an opportunity to see the communities that they aid and the types of people that are being served. Secondly, they could host a networking event. Hosting a networking event would give the client an opportunity to meet face-to-face with these organizations and build meaningful relationships that are more difficult to build over the phone or over a computer. In addition, it gives the client an opportunity to network with other organizations outside of the ones that were already obtained by the group and gain new contacts that the attending organizations have sponsorships or connections with. This will help reduce the workload of finding new contacts because it cuts down on the time required for research and cold contacting. And at the end of the event, the client would be provided with a plethora of new relationships and new contact information that will help her with future business endeavors. And our last recommendation is expanding business to new geographic locations. They can establish communication and uncover potential business opportunities outside of the already established clientele. This action would impact her business by, again, growing her clientele and building more connections face-to-face and networking on a more serious level. The database that we gave her lays out specific geographic locations so she can focus on one geographic location over another. And expanding her business even further, she could do this by recruiting a team of professionals to join her. And this could aid in providing the client's business with new areas to do business in. And it would allow for higher efficiency of research because it wouldn't just be one person doing it, as well as the potential of updating and an integration of a database to aid in all future endeavors strategically authentic may potentially take.
Okay, moving on to opportunities. Strategically authentic will be faced with a multitude of new opportunities. Using the research and data provided by the group, company will be able to build new relationships with potential clients and discover new information on organizations that may have not been available to them before. They'll also have the ability to network with other businesses who share the same values as them. And finally, there's the potential to grow the clientele base beyond what Strategically Authentic has already established, which would create even more opportunities in the future.
Every project is going to have challenges and limitations. Our group has faced these challenges throughout the course of the project. The first challenge that we had was our time management. By not being on top of our time management, it didn't have us prepared for the future. This was causing us to do too much to be done in a short amount of time, and did not allow us to have a backup plan. The next challenge that we faced was communication. There's miscommunication between the group and Strategically Authentic. This lack of communication created a different idea of what we thought was going on and how the project was supposed to be going. Luckily, we were able to correct that and get going. And then there was also brief moments where there was no communication with our group and Dr. Mikowski. Luckily, we have talked with her and with each other and made a stride towards having a better project for the rest of the semester.
Yeah, in conclusion, and to wrap things up here, Strategically Authentic and Erica aim to connect with nonprofit organizations that align with values that promote social reform for women. The research we conducted throughout the semester reflects these organizations that we have listed off for you and talked about, and we believe that they could benefit from the services provided by Strategically Authentic. Our specific intent as a group was to find these nonprofit organizations that work to impact the progression of social equity and the rights of women and get them to Erica so that she can do her thing with them. And then finally, we hope that our efforts help to advance and promote the core values of Strategically Authentic and continue after we're done with this class. So thank you for your time and
Thank you.